Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Jamie, just 77 yards in penalties for the Red Raiders on Saturday. 7 penalties.
Just.
Well, let me get to it. 30 of those are on the fans.
That's right.
And only one pre-snap penalty on the offensive line. So big improvement.
Yeah, say that last part again.
Yeah, feels like a step in the right
one
direction.
pre-snap penalty. So big improvement right there.
I just needed the one pre-snap penalty. I like that part. We should do that again.
Yeah, right. Just
that part. That part at the end. I like that part.
Yeah,
yes.
One pre-snap penalty. Of course, this was your first Big 12 home game. So, there was a part of me with regard to this whole Tortilla thing, and probably deserved, at least in the first half, maybe against Arkansas Pine Bluff, because in the second half there wasn't hardly anybody there. And maybe during the Kent State game, there were some times where he had some excessive Tortilla throwing. But this is the first time where you had Big 12 officials on the field. And I'm not blaming this on the officials by any stretch of the imagination, all right? But you get 2 Tortilla penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct. And, with one of them, it backed you up and it puts you in a terrible spot. And it's now you've got to address this and figure out a way to implore upon your fans to, after the opening kickoff, just stop it. Just stop it. But the genie's out of the bottle. It's hard to stop.
Do you think you're going to be able to implore upon your fans? I mean, do you think you didn't do that already?
Oh, I think you did. I think they did all that they could do. I mean, I don't know what else you can do now but frisk everybody and not allow one Tortilla into the game at all, because it's
What are we doing?
I don't know.
What I mean, just listen to the words there. You're coming out of your mouth. Let's, make sure nobody sneaks in a tortilla.
I know.
I mean, this is what we've had to resort to, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am a 1997 graduate of Texas Tech University. I love our history. I love our traditions. I love being a Red Raider. And I, unfortunately, am here to tell you today, I want the tortilla tradition to die. Because we absolutely can do this the right way and not be penalized, but we can't trust our fan base. We can't. We absolutely can throw these in the stands and get away with it and not hit opposing teams and not throw them on the field. And we're choosing not to. Our fan base cannot be trusted. We cannot be trusted. I mean, no matter how many times Joey McGuire's on the Jumbotron, or video board, no matter how many times he said it last week. I mean, just think of this. I mean, we are throwing objects at the opposing team. In what world is that okay?
Yeah, it's
It's not. This has to die because we can't be trusted. We can't be trusted. This is why the joke. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why this tradition has to die, because we're too dumb to stop. We are not trying to make a tradition of tossing tortillas in the air. We are trying to throw them on the field and hit the opposing team. That's what we're trying to do. That is not what the tradition is about, so let's just kill this thing now. It's got to end.
There's no question, you're exactly right, because after the opening kickoff, the ones that are left and then the subsequent ones, I mean, they're wadded up, they're thrown so that they can get onto the field, so that they can hit somebody on the side. I saw one tortilla hit an assistant coach or a staff member on the sideline. But here's Joey McGuire after the game And I thought he made a great point on this when he says you're choosing it to make it about you.
Absolutely, 100%.
Here's what he said, expressing to the fans not to throw objects on the field.
We've got to do a better job, and I've got to do a better job at expressing to the fans how important they are, because the atmosphere tonight was absolutely incredible, electric. We walked into the stadium. The students were already there. We came out during warm-up. The farthest student section was already filled. I mean, we have the best students in the country, and, man, they rallied, and I thought it was great when the defense came on the field. But it's kind of like I tell my team, and I told Chris Lovell earlier, man, I think we've got a whole nother gear. We haven't come close to playing as good as we can play. I think this stadium and this fan base has a whole nother gear. I think we can be even louder, and I would focus on that. I think that's what we need to focus on whenever it comes to what we need to do as a fan base.
Well, one of the things that he said, and we'll get to this one just after 7 this morning, but he said it's like an unsportsmanlike penalty with one of his players, and he had one of his players make one late in the game, and he came out of the game right away. You're making it about you. You're choosing to make it about you. You're not being a Red Raider when you do that.
It's not about the tradition of throwing tortillas up in the air at kickoff. It's not. I mean, we are absolutely not doing that. So since that's not the tradition anymore, we just need to make it go away. It needs to stop. They need to penalize us on the very first one. Whether it hits another player, whether it makes it to the field or not, if we see one in the air, throw a penalty. Okay? Throw a penalty. One of them. Until we decide this is not okay. This is not okay. Ever. Not one time, not 2 times, ever. You can't throw objects at the game. Period.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I agree with this. It's not just coming from the student section. I sit in 103. Plenty comes from the west side. It comes from behind me as well. And
I don't think anybody thinks it's just the students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me just say this for those that say, well, just throw the people out that are doing it. Well, I'm here to tell you they had a lot of security, at least on the east side where I am, because the students sit right below me and to my left. They did escort some people out. They were monitoring that. They were doing the best that they can. But man, I think
that's
really
what has
hard.
To be done. I think you have to beef it up, put however many guys out there. The opening kickoff, however many guys, each one of you guys, let's say there's 30 of them, pick somebody out of the crowd. You're watching a certain row. You pick somebody out, you pull them out, you throw them out of the game. Okay? Do that enough times, it'll stop.
Yeah, and then but part of the problem is it's coming also from back behind, which it's easier to police when you're looking down from the
Obviously
concourse.
Put them in different sections.
Yeah, but
it's
I mean,
not that difficult.
I know, but I mean, you're going to have to put them in the stairway, in the aisles.
Okay.
You're just going to have to do that. But I'm with you. It's just dumb. It is.
Can we stop though with
dumb.
It's the opposing fans too?
Yeah, it's not the
It's
opposing.
not.
It's not the opposing.
This is us.
That's just the craziest damn thing I've ever heard of.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
October the 13th, 2025. With this day in sports history, here's Jeff McGuire.
You know what's fun about this day in sports history? We get to talk about firsts.
Oh, okay.
1903, the first Baseball World Series. Boston Americans beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-0 in Game 8 at Huntington Avenue for a 5-3 series victory. Game 8 of a World Series.
Okay.
Because they used to play 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then, one point, wasn't it also 11 too? Like, it changed so many times early in baseball that then they finally settled on 7, and I'm glad they made that decision.
7's a good number, isn't it, Jamie?
I like 7.
Yeah.
1967, the first American Basketball Association game is played with the Oakland Oaks beating the Anaheim Amigos 132-129. Red, white, and blue ball and a 3-point field goal were introduced.
I love my red, white, and blue ball. Man, it makes me want to go buy one to take to the gym to use to practice with. I think it would be the envy of everybody if you had a red, white, and blue ball, because it's unique. You don't see them.
I mean, it'd be cool.
But they're almost always rubber.
I know. You're right. Yeah.
And any real basketball player does not want to play on a rubber ball.
You're right.
You want to play on a real leather one.
Yeah, right.
1982. The IOC Executive Committee approves the reinstatement of Jim Thorpe's gold medals from the 1912 Olympics. Awfully nice that he died in 1953, so I'm sure he was thrilled with finally getting his medals back. It's not that they took his medals away. Mm-hmm. As frustrating as I am about that, it's not that they took them away.
You are like the champion of this.
I really am, and it's just stupidity. They took him away, and then he died, and then 30 years later they gave him back.
Yeah.
Morons.
Okay, so would you like to see Shoeless Joe Jackson reinstated then?
No. You took the money.
Okay.
That's all it takes. Yeah, sure. His stats were phenomenal in the World Series. He took the money. That's gambling on baseball.
All right.
And you're not allowed to do that. Like, forever, you're not allowed to do that in baseball. 1996. Major League Baseball American League Championship. New York Yankees beat the Baltimore Orioles 4-1. 2001. Cliff Kingsbury threw for 409 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Red Raiders beat number 24 Kansas State 38-19.
Oh, we could sure use that.
I would not be upset with that score later this year. No.
Yeah, November 1st, yeah.
2007, Graham Harrell threw 425 yards and 3 touchdowns and ran for another score as Texas Tech beat Texas A&M 35-7. It is National Yorkshire Pudding Day.
And that is?
It's a British thing.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had it. Then you asked me that question. I always just associate it with, England. Or maybe it's New England. Maybe I'm thinking New England instead of England.
Is it Yorkshire or Yorkshire?
Shire. I would say Shire.
Okay.
Happy birthday to Kate Walsh, who's 58. Paul Simon, 84. Jerry Rice, my number 1 pick in the all-time NFL draft, at 63. Jerry Jones, 83. Paul Pierce, 48. Marie Osmond, 66. Nancy Kerrigan, 56. Trevor Hoffman, 58. Doc Rivers, 64. And Del Harris is 88.
Del Harris is still alive.
And kicking.
That white hair of his that he had at a very early age.
Yes. And in 2010, the last of 33 miners trapped nearly half a mile underground for more than 2 months at the caved-in mine in northern Chile are rescued. Miners survived longer than anyone else trapped underground in recorded history. Miners' ordeal began on August 5th when the San Jose gold and copper mine where they were working some 500 miles north of the Chilean capital collapsed. 33 men moved into an underground emergency shelter area where they discovered just several days' worth of food and rations. As their situation grew more desperate over the next 17 days, the miners, uncertain if anyone would find them, considered suicide and cannibalism. Then on August 22nd, a drill sent by rescuers broke through to the area where the miners were located, and the men sent back up a note saying, "We are all fine in the refuge, the 33. And that is this day in sports history.
This day in sports history. Thank you, Jeff. Just so you know, Yorkshire pudding is a savory British side dish made from a simple batter of eggs, flour, and milk or water, traditionally cooked in hot fat or drippings from a roast. Ugh.
Oh, no, that sounds very tasty.
It's just
it's almost like a thick gravy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound.
No, that sounds very tasty. Nom, nom, nom.
Okay. Hey, just based on the reaction, and maybe if you stopped 1,000 cars at 6th and Q this morning and said, should we ban tortillas, would that just go ahead and...
Tossing. We're not banning tortillas. I am not giving up tacos.
Yeah, no, I got you. I understand that. The tossing of tortillas. And based on the chat line, everybody's in agreement here that this is bad and this is a bad look and it's terrible sportsmanship and all those kinds of things. So banning it and not having it go shouldn't be much of a problem then.
Yeah, not everybody. There's people on the chat line that are disagreeing with us, and everybody else that's agreeing with us, they're disagreeing with them. I don't think that our target, our audience is probably the people that are the ones that are doing it the most.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's the students that are doing it the most, but there are plenty of other adults too. So I don't know. I don't know what it will take, but I'm sure there would be a huge portion of the fan base that would be against banning it.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe if we could get the Bevel crowd now that they've got their way on the other thing, maybe that we could get them to start, really, really worrying about things that make Texas Tech look bad, and instead start pounding on the let's throw tortillas at the opposing team crowd. Maybe those folks could turn their passion towards that now, and we can get that changed.
This from the Yates Morning Center chat line. It's a tough situation with the school, but you cannot kill the tradition. It will never go away for now. You can only control it. Maybe designate a tortilla toss zone so you can channel it. Maybe offer tortilla rally towels as an exchange program. I haven't been to the game, but the tone from you guys sounds negative. Frame the situation as let's keep the tradition alive the right way. Show your pride without risking penalties or delays. Focus on protecting the team, not policing fans. If you start policing the fans, expect pushback. Look, for God's sake.
That's what Texas Tech tried to do at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
We want the tradition to keep going. That's what they tried to do, and you saw what happened. Even after one penalty was thrown, you would think at that point, oh, wow, they were serious. We got to stop. No, it didn't stop. It didn't come close to stopping. And it wasn't just like some rogue tortilla that got out there after that.
No,
there were still tons of them being thrown.
Yeah.
They tried to do what you suggested. And you know what we proved as a fan base? We won't listen. We don't care. We're just going to keep doing it.
And it's the wadded up ones, And look, this is not about the Kansas coach whining about it. And
he was extremely whiny. There's no question. He came off as extremely hateable. There's no doubt. But this is still on us.
Yeah, that's my point.
100% on us.
There's no question. I mean, him whining makes him look terrible. And his exchange with Coach McGuire after the ball game was just completely ridiculous.
And that's part of what really bothers me. Is that Joey McGuire had to sit there and take that, okay? He shouldn't have to do that.
No.
He shouldn't have to be standing up for our fans that act like idiots. And I'm not saying all of our fans are idiots, because they are 100% not, okay? Okay, but we know we have idiot fans, just like every fan base. This has to stop. Coach McGuire should not have to be apologizing for this stuff. He shouldn't have to.
Yeah, and we
should be better.
Was there a knife thrown? Hell, I don't know. But the Kansas coach was and his fan base is mad at him for him being a whiny baby as well.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
7:16 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Hey, good morning with Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Yates Morning Center chat line is open. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too. That number is 806-771-0973. Texas Tech with a 42-17 win on Saturday. They go to 6-0, 3-0 in the Big 12. Hey, so let me ask you this. Do you go back and look now at the start of the year and predictions and go, hey, maybe we can go 12-0 now in the Big 12?
I definitely think you, if you can stay healthy in the right positions, have a chance to do that. I didn't think at the beginning of the year that it was crazy talk with the roster that you had put together. For the first time ever, I didn't think it was crazy talk.
Right.
But I now think it's definitely more likely than I would have thought before the season started, just because you have a better idea of who we are. Mm-hmm. And a better idea of who the rest of your opponents are, is how good they are. So do I think that you're going to end up 12-0 at this point? I still think my confidence level for that is probably only around 75%, maybe 80%. But obviously, before the season started, it probably would have been like 10%.
All right, so on July the 31st, we all said, you, me, and Jeff, had the Red Raiders going 10-2. You and I were the same on who we thought the losses would come against, Arizona State and Kansas State. Jeff thought Oregon State and K-State. And then I changed on August the 4th for whatever reason. Excuse me. This is Chris Sneed on August the 4th was at 11-1 with Kansas State, and on August the 21st, you and I were the same, 10-2. So at any rate, the bottom line is this: you've got Arizona State this week. As you're sitting here right now today, the question mark. Both quarterbacks have a question mark by him, right? Because Sam Lethbridge didn't play last week for Arizona State, and Baron Morton got knocked out in the second quarter for Texas Tech. So knowing what you know right now, if this were Friday, would you pick a Tech win?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a little bit torn. Just even if Baron plays, how healthy is he? Kind of a question.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit torn, but yeah, I think I'm probably 75% confident that Tech wins.
Okay. If you were the week of the K-State game, which it's still 18, 19 days away, would you pick a win over K-State on the road today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jeff, how about you? Would you pick a Tech win today over Arizona State?
Yes.
And you would pick a win over Kansas State today?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm close.
What's it gonna take?
I got to evict him out of my brain first.
Okay.
I have PTKSD.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you get what you got on Saturday, you're going to have a lot of success moving forward. Let's start with Joey McGuire. He was asked about A.J. Holmes, who came on in relief of Skylar Gill-Howard, who went out with an injury, and we still don't know the nature of his availability for this week or if it's going to be a couple of weeks. The good news is they did an x-ray. It wasn't broken. They tried to get him taped up to go back out on the game. Shockingly, that was what we learned after the ball game on Saturday, but wasn't able to go. But it gives you the feeling that he's going to be good to go at some point in time this season unless something terrible happened overnight and it swelled up and there's more damage than what they thought. But here's Joey McGuire on A.J. Holmes and the defensive front getting sacks on Saturday.
Yeah, really proud of A.J., man, because, those guys play equal time, but he really had to step up, and that was the thing that I asked the D-line. Whenever we didn't know what was exactly how bad it was, and I was like, what would he do? He would step up for you, so you guys got to have great energy. But, we had some different games on tonight that we haven't run before that we felt like we needed to try to keep that quarterback in the pocket. I thought we were really physical up front. And really got after their offensive line. There was a couple other times that we had 9 sacks. I think it's a school record. But the very first second down, we have a sack, and we don't counter. Skylar Gill-Howard's the one that should have sacked the quarterback. He got pushed by the quarterback on the game and didn't. He should have countered, and he counters right into a sack. And I thought those guys did that, and then I thought after that first one to where we allowed the quarterback to get out, those guys did a good job of rushing, as a group instead of rushing just as single people. And then, man, those like David and all that all line, man, they got huge hands. They're really just grip, strength, and everything like that. Because there's so many times you think a guy's going to get out and they get the guy down.
That's Joey McGuire, man. Last year you had 28 all year, and you were piling up the sacks like you've just never seen before, Jamie. It's just
exactly a school record.
It's incredible. Yes.
You've got 2 rush ends that are spectacular, right? I did think that A.J. Holmes played really well in relief of Skylar Gill-Howard, but and you had other guys that were really good getting after the quarterback as well. It's just it's so much fun because we've just not been a fan base that's been able to appreciate. Had a lot of guys getting after the quarterback and forcing the quarterback to throw the ball away or getting sacks and that kind of thing. And now you have a roster. David Bailey is terrific. So is Romello Height. But like I said, Holmes was really good. And then Jacob Rodriguez, I feel like he's the guy nobody was talking about after Saturday night. He had 14 tackles. I mean, he was terrific as well.
Yeah, and he was a guy that was listed as questionable before the ball game. So now for the season, you have 21 sacks on the year. And oh, by the way, your opponents have 6. So that speaks to what your offensive line is doing. And here's Coach Joey McGuire on Howard Sampson and Jacob Ponton and the offensive line stepping up for the run game.
Yeah, that was a play, our kick play with the tackles. It's we felt like we had an advantage there. We've got 2 really athletic tackles, and that's part of their superpowers. They're really long and athletic and really run, and they did a good job. I thought that was huge, and then I thought Cam really felt good. So did Jacoby. Jacoby had some good runs in the first half, and Cam was a hot guy, and he was really hot, and so we rode him. But I thought he did a good job of reading their blocks.
That's Coach Joey McGuire on his offensive line. So, you can talk about how bad a team's run defense is, but you can also talk about how good your team was in exploiting that bad run defense and taking advantage of it. And it started with what your offensive line did and taking care of business, not getting pre-snap penalties. They had 1, not getting holding penalties, and allowing a guy like Cam Dickey to get big holes so that he could have a big night. He had, just a huge night, obviously, for you in rushing the football. So it was a special evening for the Red Raiders, who go to 6-0 for just the 7th time in program history. 1938, 76, 1998, 2005, 2008, and 2013 were the other years. This feels a lot different than 2013. This feels a lot more like 2008. I wasn't here for 1976, but I'll tell you, man, it's starting to feel special, and the crowd environment in terms of, man, the noise and everything. It felt like the stadium was about to come uncorked several times during the game, and I mean that from a positive standpoint, just from the way that people were responding with yelling at the opposing team, et cetera, and just cheering for your team as well.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, pretty simple question for you today. Who do you think will be the 2 teams playing in the Big 12 championship game?
Well, I think Texas Tech's going to be one of them. I think at this point, as long as you can just kind of keep doing what you've been doing. You would love for your quarterback to, be healthy, wealthy, wise, but I think he's wealthy.
I think he's got the wealthy part.
I think he's wise.
He's a college athlete.
I think he's wise.
Today.
I think he's wise.
Football player in 2025. I think he's wealthy.
I think he's wealthy. I think he's healthy. Or not. I don't know if he's healthy. That's the problem. I don't know if he's healthy. Man, I do not want to say this, but I fear this. I fear it's going to be either Utah or BYU. I'm starting to have a feeling that you're going to face Utah again, Jamie, and it could be in the Big 12 championship game. So I'm going to say Utah at this point.
I feel like a crazy person right now because I'm sitting here looking at this right now, and I'm looking who they have left, and I'm saying Cincinnati has a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I think your win over Utah is going to keep them out. I think when Texas Tech beats BYU, that's going to keep them out. And I know Cincinnati plays BYU, and they play Utah. So obviously this can change. But give me the Bearcats.
Okay, so I am with Chuck. I think it's the Red Raiders, and I think it is Utah. Cincinnati has to play at Utah on November the 1st. I mean, if I'm sitting here today, right now, I'm picking Utah to win that game. I look at this weekend's game. Obviously, it is absolutely massive, right? With Utah playing at BYU. So I think I kind of feel like this is a Big 12 championship play-in game this Saturday.
Wow. Okay.
With Utah and BYU.
Okay.
I can't see BYU beating the Red Raiders here at home. I just can't. Okay, so gosh.
What's your concern?
Well, here's my concern. Let's. If you lost to Arizona State, and I don't think you will, but if you did, and Utah beat BYU, you beat BYU, so that would keep BYU out of the picture, right? Cincinnati loses at Utah. So if you're just going off of those teams there, and you still would have other teams, I mean, Arizona State, clearly that would be a huge win for them if they beat the Red Raiders, and that would keep them in the mix, right, with just one loss. Baylor's sitting there at 2-1. They just have one loss. Houston has one loss. Those two teams don't scare me. I don't think they're going to be able to continue to go through the rest of the Big 12 season with just one loss. So, man, I think, I really would be super confident if you won this weekend to feel like you're in the Big 12 championship game. You got an awesome shot at it, right?
Yeah.
And I think the winner of BYU and Utah is going to be there.
Okay.
It's at BYU, but right now I think I'm picking Utah.
Okay.
As of right now.
And
but I'm allowed to change my mind before Friday, right?
How do you feel about playing Utah a second time?
I don't love it.
Yeah.
Don't love it. By the way, Utah favored by 3.5 at BYU.
And I will say this, I don't necessarily love having to play anybody a second time, whether it's Utah or BYU. Now, if you got Cincinnati, but here's the thing.
Well, it's going to be hard to play Cincinnati a second time.
I'm talking about, I would feel good about playing them in the Big 12 championship game is really what I meant there. Here's the thing.
If you're going to play Cincinnati in the Big 12 championship game, that means they went to Utah and won, most likely.
Yeah, right.
So that would be a good football team. I don't think that would be any pushover.
No, but at least you're not playing them a second time, and maybe who knows?
So the team you beat by what, 24, 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to beat a team by 25 two times in a row, right?
Didn't say it had to make sense, okay?
Is their quarterback going to get better between now and then?
He's going to get taller.
Well, here's what I was going to say.
He's going to be able to throw the ball over the middle.
That's why I'm not scared of Utah yet.
Yeah, no.
Their quarterback is not going to get better between now and then.
Here's what I was going to say is your defense is going to keep you essentially, you feel like, in every game. And your offense doesn't have to be spectacular because your defense is spectacular.
So
fair enough.
We mentioned the defense, as we should, and should do some more often. I'm going to give you a number that is mind-blowing to me. 38.
Okay.
Total points given up in Big 12 play.
Yeah.
You faced some good offenses in the Big 12, and you have given up 38. The number 2 defense in the Big 12 right now for points allowed is Utah. They've given up 58. How many did they give up to you?
What was it, 11? What was the number?
Utah?
Yeah.
34.
34 of their 58 points.
That they gave up to you. I got you. I thought you were going the other way.
Were Red Raider points.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at this going, holy cow, you're 20 points better than the second best team in the Big 12 on defense.
That's totally fair, Jeff, and I think nobody would disagree with you. Holy cow, those numbers are spectacular, but we all know that the best team doesn't always win.
Sure.
Right? And so sometimes people have bad days and teams have bad days and all of those things. And you just hope the Red Raiders are good enough to avoid that moving forward, because you do feel like they're more talented than anybody on their current schedule.
5 teams have given up over 100, and you haven't given up 40.
Hey, Jeff.
That's how it works.
Tech is good.
Yeah, they are.
They're really good.
Yeah.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
On this Monday morning, if you have today off, good for you. If you've got to be working stiff like the rest of us, loosen up and just enjoy the day.
Yeah.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. The First United Bank studio is our home. It's where we come to you from this fine Monday morning. Yates Flooring Center chat line is open. Go to doublet973.com for that of the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline, it too is open at 806-771-0973. We've been talking about Texas Tech and the win over Kansas on Saturday that resulted in a 42-17 win for the Red Raiders, and you get to number 7 in the country. You're 6-0. Here's just some overall notes from the ball game Saturday, Jamie. Tech's one of 11 teams that are unbeaten in the country. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Red Raiders have scored a touchdown on their first possession now in 5 of the 6 games. They've scored on their first possession in all 6 games. They had 1 field goal so far this year, and the first one on Saturday was really special because Cam Dickey goes 71 yards, and man, once he got past the line of scrimmage, you weren't stopping him. He was quick down the field,
untouched.
He had another 55-yarder a little bit later on in the ball game. Here's another point. You're probably going to go, oh yeah, that makes sense. The Red Raiders have yet to trail at any point this season.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that until last week. Once we heard that stat last week, it was like, oh, yeah, okay. So now you're kind of paying attention to it a little bit more.
Yeah, and the other thing you're kind of wondering about is, okay, so when you – and they've had to face some adversity. I mean, Kansas, made it, a 21-17 game at the half. And so you went into the half, and Coach McGuire was not happy with how his team was playing. And so he
was not the only one.
No, he wasn't. But I mean, but they reset the deck right at the half and said, okay, this is what we know we can do. We know we can run the football, so we're going to run the football. And the defense ratcheted it up even more in the second half as well.
Yeah, the fact that you pitched a shutout in the second half after they had scored 17 points in the second quarter was pretty impressive.
In terms of sacks, you set a school record with 9. The last time that you had 8 was in 1993 against SMU. Okay, and that was a conference game at that point in time. So individually, Cam Dickey, 21 rushes, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 3 receptions as well for 16 yards. It's the 5th most rushing yards in a single game by a Texas Tech running back. And so that's pretty cool. Good for him. Mm-hmm. Caleb Douglas, what'd you think of his night? He had 6 receptions, 55 yards. Didn't score, but he had some big receptions on the night. Yeah,
it felt like most of that came early in the game. But, he contributed. You just didn't use the passing game a whole lot, and you didn't need to.
No. Baron Morton was 7 of 12 for 91 yards, had a touchdown. Will Hammond was 7 of 16 for 42 yards, had an interception, rushed it 8 times, 61 yards for 2 touchdowns. And one of those, man, he just, in the south end zone, there in the corner, man, he just bulldozed right over a Jayhawk player who probably is still feeling that hit today. Because that was a collision. And that guy went backwards, and Will Hammond went forwards. But is your biggest concern right now quarterback if Barron's not able to play and your ability to throw the football? Is that your biggest concern right now?
The health of the quarterback position, definitely number 1 on my list, because I just think you need to be able to be a versatile offense to beat good teams. I don't think you can just rely on the run game. I assume, I'm not looked at all the numbers, but Probably Oklahoma State's worse than Kansas at stopping the run, or worse than them defensively. But I can't imagine there's going to be many that are as bad as Kansas was stopping the run. So that makes me feel like you're going to need to be able to pass the ball better than you did. And I thought Barron was fine when he was in there. Just when Hammond came in, Will did a great job running the football for you in the second half, but you just never really got the passing game going.
Jacob Rodriguez, 14 tackles, 1.5 for loss, 1 sack. The sack was his first of the season. That probably would surprise some people.
Mm-hmm.
David Bailey had 6 tackles, 3 tackles for losses, and 3 sacks in addition to everything else that he did. The quarterback hurry, the forced fumble.
Recovery.
Fumble recovery.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing. He could be the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. All by himself.
Could be him and Jacob Rodriguez combined.
Sure, could be.
I think that would be a we'd all be in favor of.
Right. I was just thinking the same thing as soon as Jamie said that. And then Romello Height, he had 6 tackles, 2 for loss, and 2 sacks as well. His tackles were 6 high. The other thing that really impressed me, Jamie, and Coach McGuire talked about, a couple of times that they didn't necessarily, do a good job of covering downfield, and they got a couple touchdowns on you. But man, I feel like that this year the open field tackling by your linebackers and your secondary has been really, really good because there've been some receivers that have caught balls and have been leg tackled or tackled around the ankles that in previous times you may not have gotten, or that they could have gotten for big yardage. But I feel like the one-on-one tackling for this team is really, really good.
I just think that comes with having better defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're better at their jobs, which is bringing the ball carrier down. And we have a really good defense. So,
I know it's Captain Obvious but it just really stands out when you're just watching it and you go, oh, they got the ball. Oh, wow, that's one-on-one tackling right there. It's not always gang tackling.
You didn't have any trouble on that on their 2 touchdowns because nobody was near them either time. Complete blown coverages.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you didn't
really disappointing.
You didn't have an opportunity to do that because of what you did. So, at any rate, it was just an observation or a thought that I had amongst the game from Saturday.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.